Okay, I think I'm live. I think we're just waiting for Anthony to pop in. I think he's here right now. Okay, we're
All
live.
right. Okay. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Man, this document. There's nothing wrong in it. It's like, oh, whatever. I didn't even read the whole. Like, I read excerpts from it, and people are pointing stuff out, and I'm like, I just don't care. It's just so far removed from anything that concerns me. It's like the church should care for the poor. Like the church has always cared for the poor. The church should actually care for migrants. Like this is what the church has always done. It's the body of Christ. And it's
Mhm.
Christ's presence on earth. So yes, the church has to have a major charitable arm. And yes, this is the gospel, right? You go read the Beatitudes. Yes, that's what this is. It's just
I don't see why a 97-page document was needed for that in our day and age.
it's
Like,
it's it's like this, Rob, because your kids aren't teens yet. Here's what it really is. It's like my kids think their father is out of his mind because he doesn't let his daughters have Instagram, and they think their father's out of his mind because he talks to them about like all these issues all the time because there's no support from the church for us.
yeah,
There's no support from the church for us. Like there's nothing coming from the hierarchy talking to our children about modesty in this day and age and how dangerous it is to let your image be put out there because you are responsible for your image that you put out there.
hmm
Like there's no documents like backing up us parents who are doing our freaking best to raise our children. There's no help from them whatsoever. All there are these documents that come out to basically confirm the bias of these liberal prelates in the crap they're doing. It's like you get this confirmation in the garbage that you guys are doing, and the Pope says, "Oh, these atrocities that are happening." Yeah, it's like, yeah, okay, we got to care for. Yeah, we have to make immigrants part of our community. We cannot leave them out. It's like my entire Latin Mass parish is made up of brown kids. Like they really are. They're part of the community. We don't cast them out because they're not white. Like, what are you even
yeah.
talking about? What are you even talking about? My company, there's 50 guys that work there. 25 of them are from South and Central America. They barely speak English. I'm friends with them. I care about these men. I work around poor people all day. I buy them lunch all the time.
Which
I sit
Burgoyne
with
says, yeah, half this
them.
chat is brown kids.
But that's it, right? Like half of our show when we meet the people who watch our show, they're not white. Like it's not. This is not what we need help with at all. It's
We
just
I mean, on one hand, yes, we live in a time with probably one of the greatest disparities of wealth in history, right? But at the same time, we also live in a time where the poorest person in America, and I understand that the world's obviously more than America, but let's just say the poorest person in America
has an
doesn't starve to
iPhone.
death,
Has an
has a
iPhone.
smartphone, right? Can go get charity from literally almost anywhere. And I'm not saying we shouldn't even try to do more because of course we should. We definitely should. But this isn't a time and place where like we're not dealing with the famines in Somalia in the 1990s that somehow the cause for 80,000 Somalians now in Minneapolis. But like
What even is a poor person at this point, right? Like poverty looks very different in America than it does in India. What about the poor in spirit? Like
yeah,
blessed are the poor in spirit because you had your freaking liturgy robbed from you and
dude,
you're
25% of Gen Z is gay or trans, and we're we're worried about.
immigrants. Like no, and it's not just that. It's like okay, confirming these bishops in their push for open borders. It's like yeah, let immigrants in to the
I mean,
point
now
where my
granted, that
son
was only one out of 120 paragraphs.
I understand, but the conversation is very much on this, right?
Yes, yeah.
This is where the focus of the conversation is. And I'm sorry, but a quick video of Leo speaking with those bishops does more than this apostolic exhortation. This 98-page apostolic exhortation will get way less traction than that clip of Leo
Yeah.
meeting with Bishop Seats.
Mhm.
confirming them in their work and telling them, yes, you go and you push against this administration. You guys are opening the freaking borders up and welcoming these people in to the point where my own son cannot afford to buy a home.
Right. And so much of this is more prudential issues than it is moral, right? Like, because I imagine, and even the part about immigrants, probably that whole thing is probably morally just fine, probably dogmatically just fine. But prudentially, do they not realize like this push that they're pushing for is actually impoverishing more people than it's helping?
Impoverishing more
Impoverishing
people.
the wealthiest nation in the world.
Dude, more than that, it is disintegrating any kind of culture we have. And that's what we were like, that's the point. Like, you're opening up the floodgates to foreigners and you're disintegrating the culture that actually could be built to have my children have Catholic friends.
Right. I mean,
my kids don't have Catholic friends because
there's over
they
1 billion people in India. So what? You bring 100 million of them here, and does that help the other 900 million plus in India? No, but what does 100 million of them here do? Destroys our whole nation.
Destroys any semblance of community that we have with each other. Like they put us in a position where I can't even have a community with my parish because we're all driving an hour and a half to get there. So you can't, it's not like your kids can be friends with their kids because they're driving from an hour and a half in the opposite direction. It's so wicked and evil what they're doing. Like
Minneapolis
so
is
pernicious.
The whole Twin Cities metro is like 2.5 million, but the city of Minneapolis itself is 500,000, 500,000. 20% of that city is now Somali.
It's crazy.
20% or 20%. 1 in 5 people
it's just a church so freaking out of touch with what her sons and daughters need right now. And I'm watching all the liberals go, oh, this is amazing. All that is them getting confirmed in their liberal politics. It's all you're doing. You're not actually going to change anybody. Like I want to see something that really does transcend politics. That really does transcend politics and actually calls us to something hard, because yeah, okay. If you don't love the poor, you're going to go to hell, is essentially what Leo's saying, and I agree with that. But how about if you don't love your neighbor who has a different political opinion than you? Because if you hate your brother, you're going to hell. And there is so much animosity. People were asking in that last video we did, like, why are you so nice to Mike Lewis? Because I actually take this stuff seriously. That's why. No, it's because I actually do want to like treat others the way they're supposed to be treated. Like I'm not kidding. It's like I need to, and not just that, I want to actually understand the argument from their perspective. I don't want to just yell across and call them an idiot. I want to actually understand where they're coming from with this. I may disagree with them to the foundation of my being, but I should still be able to treat them like a human being. This is really like the way we all treat one another at this point because of social media and stuff like that. Like, how about give us an exhortation on that? Like how to love someone you disagree with, because that is something that would be very valuable. And especially because it should be pointed at the liberals who hate us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It should be very much towards the liberals who hate their conservative, traditional Catholic brother. Like God has a special place in his heart for the downtrodden and for those who are oppressed. It's like you guys have done that to us. Look, I'm at a point now where I really do see like all of this as it's going to work for our good if we handle it right. Like if we just accept the suffering and just love these people through their punishment of us, which is going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult. But like you have to love the people who are being awful to you. Like 1 Peter 4.
I can pull it up real quick.
Oh, man, let me see what's the actual verse. Well, there's one in Ephesians 6:5.
4 is
No,
wherein they
yeah.
think it's strange. Yeah, that's not.
No.
Oh yeah,
Go to Ephesians 6:5, I think. But there's another one in Second Peter, I think.
Ephesians 6:5.
Ephesians 6 verse 5 through 9. And then it's First Peter 2:18. Actually, First Peter 2:18. Let's go to that one. So they're saying similar things. First Peter 2:18, though. This is important.
Okay. No, I don't think this is right. First Peter 2:18. Servants, be subject to your masters with all fear, not only to the good and gentle, but also to the froward.
Yeah. Slaves, like, love your masters, even the cruel ones. Like, submit, even the cruel ones. It's not easy, man. Like, we're being beaten. We're being just tormented. We're sitting here and we're watching our church taken over by awful people. Like, you look at what that bishop in Charlotte did, and all I'm thinking is, while I'm watching that going on, like, blessed are you that mourn, for you will be comforted. Like, yes, you guys are suffering a death in Charlotte. You will be comforted. Like, the Beatitudes, you go back and you read the Beatitudes, like, they're so freaking important. They really are. And I know that's what, like, this whole thing that they're doing with this document, it's like they think they're exhorting us to love the poor. It's going to have the opposite effect. It's going to make people revile them, because there's real problems that are occurring from the things they're doing in our country. And we're being told, shut up and take it. Love them. And it's like, yes, I know. Like, I know, like you really should see the face of Christ in every person, right? And especially like you look at what St. Francis did with the lepers. Like, St. Francis, he was skeeved out by the lepers, so he like forced himself to go and like lay with them and touch them, and he wound up falling in love with them. And it's a difficult thing to do, to see the face of Christ in every person, but you really are called to do that. So I have no issue with like them exhorting us to love the poor and care for everybody. Like, that's fine. It's just so out of touch with what real people are facing right now, with the amount of temptation and the amount of like the demonic that's out here. Like, what we really need is the church's supernatural graces poured out right now, and they're not. All they want to focus on is the temporal.
Not only are they not giving them to us, they're ripping them away from us.
Ripping them away from us.
Yeah. There are times, and it happens fairly frequently, where like I get really, really discouraged. Especially on weekends where, for whatever reason, like, we can't make the 4-hour round trip drive to mass, right? And like it's like, as a husband and father, and even just as a Catholic, all I want to do is go to mass and worship God and receive the sacraments, and share that with my wife and with my kids. And yet the church is more or less forcing me to. It almost seems like it's almost like an impossible task, right?
Rob,
To
it's not just
to
that.
make that drive, to get my
your
kids
ki-
baptized,
your kids are little right now. They'll do what you say. What do you think is
well,
going to
I
happen when
know,
they're
but
14 and you're forcing them to go 4 hours on a Sunday? They're going to hate religion, is
well,
what
I
they're
know
going to do.
that's what really discourages me, is if it's this hard now, how much harder is it going to be when we have 2-3 more kids, and now Maddie's 12 years old, and I don't know.
Listen, I know most of our audience is younger. You guys all have younger kids. I'm telling you what it gets like when you get older. Like, when the kids get older. Like, my kids love the Latin Mass, but on Sunday when we wake up and it's like, we got to go drive an hour, they're like, ugh. Like, it builds a resentment that they have to drive a freaking hour, and they're like, can't we just go to the Novus Ordo? It's so convenient. It's like, no, we can't. it gets hard when they get older and they become teenagers. It gets difficult when all your kids' friends are able to do things and you're like, no, we're not doing that. And they start thinking like then Catholicism becomes burdensome. And when they go to mass, they're not hearing the priests confirm the father and the things that he's doing. They're not hearing that from anywhere else. So they just think their father's a freaking, it's like this. It gets difficult when your kids get older, man. I'm telling you, it's like, I mean, my kids are all awesome and they're grateful for everything and they whatever. I'm just telling you, I know what this is going to be like for people. It's easy when your kids are little because they kind of do whatever you say. But once they start getting it, my son's 19, my daughter's 18, my other daughter's 14. It gets tricky. Like they would rather just have it be, why can't we just go to the church that's around the block? It's just it's a lot and it wears.
Well, I
you
won't
down.
have to worry about that in a few years because there probably won't be a church around the block. But
yeah, they're going to shut down half the parishes over the next few years on top of that.
Yeah.
Even the Novus Ordos are going to be getting shut down.
Well, especially the Novus Ordo.
Yeah, nearest TLM is an hour and a half and starts at 9 a.m. So you got to leave at 7 a.m. to go to a 9 a.m.
I'd be okay with that. I mean, yeah, we'd have to leave at 6:30 for us, but at least then we could be home by 1. Now it's we wake up, start getting ready for mass, go to mass. By the time we're home, it's like, oh, kids, time to get ready for bed.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. It takes your entire day up, and it's like so. I mean, what we do is, especially like if we're gonna go into the city because it's an hour and 20 minutes, I'll take them out and we'll do something in the city that day. So I kind of make it an adventure, but that gets expensive every freaking Sunday. Going out to eat in the city every Sunday because you want it. Like it's not. I do what I do what I can.
It's $120 to eat anywhere, but that's not fast food, and fast food it's still $80-$90. So what?
But that's what it turns into, and it's like so we go all the way into the city, and then we want to go out to eat something after because I want to make it spell right. I take them to go see something in New York City so that they're not like dreading going to church just to go to church for 5 hours of their day.
Right.
It's like 5-6 hours of their day because we went to church. It's a lot. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they don't do it. They do it, but it's a lot. And it's just it gets tedious and it wears you down. Let's play the full Nick clip because he gets into something that I finally heard him vent the same frustration that we all have. I was happy to hear it. I was like, finally, he's saying because it's not just about immigration. It's about all these things that we always talk about. And it was refreshing to hear him say it. Cigar mode, pack a picnic, go someplace and eat together. Yeah, we do that too. But it's like,
why should I have to do that?
But no, I don't even mind doing that. Like, I want to spend the time with my kids. It's fine. But like the things to do in New York, like, you're not packing a picnic on a Sunday in the winter. I'm sorry. You're just not, like you have to I mean, me and Nicole have taken the kids to the museum. Like I've taken them to the MoMA to go and see, the Metropolitan Museum we've taken them to. And then I'll spend the day like showing them medieval Christian art and stuff like that. And it is a fun, beautiful experience. It's just, it should just be, you wake up and you go to mass 10 minutes away. It's just a lot.
It doesn't help that in our day and age, like we work outside of the home, which is fairly like relatively recent in history where that was a thing for even men. So I have 2 days a week to do anything around the house.
Yeah,
and
me
now
too.
when I go to mass, when I go to the TLM, I now only have Saturdays. Saturdays is the 1 day a week I now have to do anything at home.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, we got to book a Father Maudsley interview.
Yeah, exactly.
Majari goes, I was feeling so white pilled. Thank you, Anthony, for reminding me that all hope is lost.
I was gonna say, here I am saying how hard it is, thinking maybe you'll give me some sort of advice to make it, better. You're like, no, man, it's gonna get way worse.
No, I'm just like, honestly, this exhortation, especially seeing the people like, seeing everybody, like, even like, I love Wagner, I love him, but he's like, this isn't just like a Marxist document. He says some really good things, and I'm like, I'm sure he does. But sure, he says some good things. The Pope, I would hope he says some good things in it. It's like, I would hope the Pope said a few good things in his apostolic exhortation. It's very cool. I just would like to see some things that actually matter to us.
We have 900,000 kids being aborted a year in the US. We have 50,000 Nigerians being slaughtered a year by Muslims in Nigeria, and yet we're worried about the. Not that we should worry about the poor.
I don't want to downplay that. Like I know, like, yes, we should love the poor. The church is doing a good thing in its missionary spirit and caring for the poor. Like, yes, of course. It's the church. The church has always done this. You go back into the early church, and that's literally how they converted the world, is by caring for the throwaways of the culture. And it was so appealing that the pagan priest would pretend they cared about the poor. Like, it is a beautiful thing. It's a good way to evangelize too. And you're showing the world what love is. Like, you love one another. That's how they'll know us, by our love. Yes, that's all good. But we're in a very unique point in time right now where the culture is degrading around us. There's evil everywhere, and we need the church's supernatural gifts, and they're depriving us of it. And it's really, really frustrating. And all they're doing is taking political stances that cause havoc, always with the wrong end of the political spectrum with these guys, because they just want to be confirmed in their bias and be told, look, it's the seamless garment stuff. It's like, well, those conservatives, they're first of all, I hate capitalism. So like, it's not, I don't even care that he's critiquing capitalism. Capitalism sucks. We're all slaves. Like, it's fine. He's not pushing socialism. Like, you're gonna get boomers who are like, this is socialist Marxism. No, the church has never actually been for unfettered capitalism. Like, it just hasn't. It's not good. It makes everybody a commodity, and you're just a wheel and a cog. I'm all fine with like trying to figure out a better system, but it's just,
well, there was a third way, but World War II had to go and screw that up.
Yeah, right. All right, let's play the Fuentes clip.
Why is it that the Pope is always undermining U.S. immigration policy? Because now I see Catholic priests in Chicago, and they're doing like protests against the deportations. And they're doing that because they're emboldened by the Pope. The Pope sets the tone. And now you have ecclesiastical authority, the clergy in America that are protesting this political decision. And it's like, you are the vicar of Christ on earth for a heavenly kingdom. I don't know where Jesus gave you the authority to tell us who we can and can't let in our country. These people are here illegally. They're gang members. Trump is not doing mass deportations, okay? These buildings that he's raiding, these are gang members. These are violent gang members. These are people with a criminal record. So what is actually Catholic about letting people come here illegally? They're invading our country, and they're gangsters. What is Catholic about tolerating that? And you see, for example, in Chicago, ICE did a raid on this apartment building, and it was filled with squatters. It was filled with Tren de Aragua squatters, where they installed their own deadbolt locks. There's like sitting water in the hallways. They're like taking electricity from the exit signs. It's like the whole building, it's squalor. They're squatters. They're not even living in the building legally. They're not living in our country legally. They get rounded up and kicked out, and the Pope is going to take a position and say, well, that's not pro-life. Hey, man, just the bread and wine, please. Hold the opinions. And I hate to speak so flippantly about that. It's one of the rare occasions that I will criticize the Pope, because I think a lot of people love to pick on the Pope and criticize the Pope, but it's grating. It's grating. A little grating. And, I would just love for the Pope to take a firm stand on some of these other issues too. Is there any statement on Charlie Kirk getting murdered? Is there any statement on, these radical left people that are in favor of transgenderism? How about feminism? How about contraceptives? How about abortion? I feel like there's about 50 things the left is doing that are far more heinous before you get to like the Republican immigration policy. You know what I'm saying? Like, think of all the grave matters of morals and theology in America the apostasy, the idolatry, the blasphemy, the killing, the abortion, the pornography, the sexual sins, the disordered nature of the sexes and their relationship. And you're going to weigh in and say, well, you know, these deportations are the problem. Okay, man. So I
Nick
don't
sounds
love
like
that.
avoiding
And,
Babylon. What's
say,
going on
I say that
here?
respectfully. I say that with reverence for the
Yeah, I
office
say it with reverence and with
everything,
respect too,
but
Nick.
it's a little bit out of line. And it starts to get irritating when Catholics in
Yeah.
America are starting to undermine this because the Pope has taken the lead on it in this way. It's like, that's not helping, actually. You're not actually helping.
It's
So,
amazing
white
he
ass niggas
cracked under Leo and not Francis, though. I'm just like,
Yeah.
you cracking under Leo? This is child's play for what we dealt with the past 10 years. No, God bless you, Nick. I'm glad you speaking out about it, because this stuff is real. Like, this is important stuff. The things that the culture is actually facing go unaddressed, and we hear platitudes. We hear platitudes that
Yeah.
confirm these liberal bishops in their decision to support liberal politicians. Even though we just had a lunatic caught at a church in DC with 200 bombs,
Yeah.
about to bomb another Catholic church and try to kill the Catholic
Supreme Court
Court
justices.
justice. No, but let's get on those conservatives, because they're for getting, cleaning their country up and getting immigrants out. Like, this is insane. This is absolute insanity. I love the freaking church. I love the church. What has happened to the church? Not the church. The church is holy and impeccable, the bride of Christ. What the hell has happened to the hierarchy?
They're a bunch of gay communists.
Literally, like,
I mean, that's
we're
what it
dealing
is.
with. The infiltration of these people into the hierarchy of our church is, oh, how long, Lord? How long before
20 to
you
30
put in-
years, probably.
Please, Lord, don't make us endure this for much longer. But yeah, all right. So yeah, immigration is the thing that finally set him off. But he did say all those other things. Like the issue, that's what he actually encompassed exactly what I'm talking about, right? This document is talking about the poor, and yes, we need to care for the poor. Nobody's denying that. But like, the other things he just mentioned there are the things actually facing our culture. The things that us parents who are trying to raise our children Catholic are left on our own. We are alone. We do not have anyone in the clergy supporting us and trying to do what's right by our children.
We literally have anarchist Satanists trying to brainwash our kids over the internet with gay, trans, furry porn so that they can go in and kill Catholic kids in church.
Yeah.
Like, that literally freaking happened in the last 6 weeks.
I honestly don't want to hear it about like Catholic podcasters. It's like, the clergy has abandoned you. I'm sorry. I'm the only freaking pastor you guys have at this point. It sucks. It sucks. You have a freaking YouTube pastor, guys. I feel bad for you. This is where we're at. You're stuck with me as your freaking moral.
We're a ministry. We're a ministry, guys. The Avoiding Babylon ministerial apostolate.
And now it is loft and ark. Oh man, Father Anthony, Pastrix Sabat. No, I'm not. Look, you might get a good SSPX priest. You might get. I'm not like. Oh man, it's just the church should be speaking about this stuff. This is enraging. All right.
Well, we would talk to Father Rehill if certain someone we know would put us in contact with him. Mike.
The only thing keeping me from joining the Church of Anthony is that you don't have the sacraments.
Well, hold on. We'll find a Thook line of bishop to ordain him.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
If you time traveled yourself 10, 15 years ago, you wouldn't believe a word of any of this. Everyone needs to stop being the slow boiled frog. um, I don't know, 15 years. Yeah, no, I mean, look, I was a Pope splainer up until Francis, you know. I mean, even early on in the Francis pontificate, I was doing that stuff. It's just, you know, it took, it was not this bad before Francis. I'm telling you, it wasn't. Like, I know the council and the revolution and all that stuff, but you still had bishops paying lip service to stuff before Francis. Like, you really did. You still had bishops paying lip service to like life issues and things like that. So you felt like at least the church had your back when you were fighting these battles. We are literally on our own, guys. We're on our own. It's super, super frustrating.
Well, it's exactly like that tweet thread by whoever it was that we read the other night. You know, it's up to you. You got to be the bastard that set sail. You got to be the
Yeah, well, look,
the second son who picks up a sword.
That's well and good, but there's not much we could do about the sacrament. Like these people, like everybody's saying, it's like we don't have sacraments, you know. Yeah, I think I'm going to reach out to Father Dan Rehill. My friend Tom suggested that to me too. And maybe we could get him with Mike now that Pantile is over there. But it's just, you know, we're probably better that we did this over here. I'm sorry, guys. I got, you know, I was reading some of the responses to my tweets today, and I thought I had some pretty good tweets. I honestly did. I know you guys hate when I just read my Twitter, but no, I had some good ones. It was where was like, blessed are the poor in spirit, for they have been robbed of the treasures of heaven by wicked men. Theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And then the one I wrote, I said, I'm supposed to believe the hierarchy cares about the poor when they robbed us of the greatest treasures. And Chewy Yorkie says, so ridiculous. You were not robbed of anything. No, you
Respectfully,
you were not robbed of anything because you don't care what was taken from you. You don't care about it. So you were not robbed because you were part of the revolution.
And I don't even care that I was robbed at this point. It pisses me off that my children were robbed, that I can't get them the freaking mass, that I can't get them baptized without going 8-hour round trip out of our way. Are you joking me?
Then I got Forrest Womack saying, this sounds like a woman's complaint.
Isn't that a woman?
A woman's complaint. Okay.
Isn't she a woman?
And then Jeremy Darling, they robbed us of the Eucharist. I just like, so that was how I came down to like, that was what I read before I came. What did they rob? Because I say they robbed us of the treasures of the church. They robbed us of the Eucharist because in their mind,
it's all the masses.
Eucharist is as long as everyone receive Jesus, it's all the mass is. You get Jesus. That's it. It's like, I went to mass last Sunday at Society Chapel, and I've been sick. So I went to bed that night and my air conditioner was blowing right in my face. And I woke up and like my eyes were super red. My nose was stuffy. I was so dehydrated. And I went to mass. And when I tell you, like, I was like so dehydrated that I didn't receive communion because I was afraid I would choke on the host. Like, I was legit afraid I would choke on the host. And it was, of course, a high mass that went for an hour and 45 minutes. And I, like, the second he said the mass has ended, I had to run out to my car to get water. That's how bad. Like, I
know you're allowed to drink water at mass, right?
I didn't have one on me though.
Okay.
It was.
They don't have
it
a
was
drinking fountain.
I don't go there that often. I didn't want to, like, I don't know if they had a water fountain. I could have gone to the bathroom and like drank out of the sink, I guess, but I just, as soon as he said the mass is ended, I just shot out the door because they were gonna do a procession after. I was like, oh no, I can't. Like, I can't. I'm not gonna make it. So, but I said that, and like, people were like, I'd rather die than not receive the Eucharist. It's like, honestly, guys, like,
you're not even hardly Catholic at that point.
Like
You're
you
really not.
actually don't need to receive at mass. Like you can go, like I actually will do that even if I'm not in mortal sin at times. Like I'll just go and I'll sit at mass and I won't receive because I might not have the right disposition.
Right.
Like,
King
and it's not
St.
about
Louis
being
the
in mortal
Ninth.
sin. I might have not been paying attention at mass and I just don't have the right disposition. Like I take receiving very seriously. And it's like if I was distracted the whole mass, it's like I'm not gonna go up and just go get my wafer. That's not how it works.
King
Like
St. Louis the Ninth went to mass twice a day. He received the Eucharist 6 times a year.
Yeah. And it's like the practice of receiving every mass or especially every day is very recent. It's
Pius
like
the 10th.
yeah, it's like 20th century.
Yeah. And not that that wasn't a good thing, but people have taken it way too far. Like you said, not only are you supposed to not be in mortal sin, you like traditionally you need the proper disposition,
Yeah.
which is why. So I don't go to Novus Ordo masses anymore, but even for the last year or two that I did, I often wouldn't receive at a Novus Ordo mass
Yeah, because
because
you're
I was
frustrated the whole time.
I
You're
was pissed
angry.
off the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, you're pissed off. So like you shouldn't actually receive in that situation because you don't want to go up and have something against your brother. Like if you have something against your brother, go leave your gift at the altar and go make amends, you know. And if you're angry at the people around you because they're distracting you, things like that. So yeah, so that's why I didn't receive something because I was just like, yeah, my mind was so distracted the entire mass because I was so thirsty. And I was just like, all I could pay attention to was how thirsty I was the whole mass. And I was like, all right, I'm going to sit through the whole thing. But I didn't receive.
Someone asked if I stayed kneeling or went up with my arms crossed. There's no reason to go get a blessing at the Eucharist. You receive the same blessing at the end of the mass as everyone does. So just stay kneeling.
Yeah, that's true. Like the priest blesses you at the end of mass, right?
It's the same blessing.
Like the same blessing.
Matter of fact, it's more of a blessing, probably, honestly, truthfully. Whatever you do, if it's not the priest at the line, then definitely don't go up. Because a deacon can't bless you. A Eucharistic minister can't bless you. Only a priest can bless you. So
Ordo Catholic says extraordinary minister blessings.
And someone goes, when guys like Rob stay kneeling, you can't get by them in the pew. Not too bad. Like Marshall says, take up space, right?
All right. We could wrap this one. I was actually we got in the green room and I was like, Rob, can we push this to tomorrow? Like we were very close to not doing this show tonight. And I don't know. I'm very tired. I've been sick for 3 weeks. I really need rest.
You've literally been sick since Detroit.
Since I got home from Detroit.
It's been more than 4 weeks at this point.
Since I got home from Detroit, the day I got home from Detroit, I started feeling sick and it got like progressively worse. Now my cough is gone. Like I don't have that raspy cough anymore, but now I have a cold.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna wrap this one. I saw it. Yeah. Like, man, I can't read the words.
Oh no, I can't read it. I'm not reading them on air.
All right. I'll try and read them. Hang on. Can I click on it? Make it bigger?
Click on it. It'll make it bigger.
Okay. If he is sin for him not to be, as long as he wears tweed. Oh goodness. All right, you guys are amazing.
But yes, Trad Inc. did get Anthony sick.
That's what Trad Inc. got me sick.
Trad Inc. got you sick.
They put a curse on me when we didn't join.
Wait, who got to call Holdsworth? Is he sick too?
That's a good question. We should ask him. Brian's gonna come on soon. I reached out to him twice so far, but he's been busy both times. But he said he's gonna come on with us soon. I want to get Brian on.
Yeah, we gotta have him on. We're gonna be on the rundown next Friday.
Next Friday, Rob and I will be on the rundown.
And then not next Saturday. Saturday after is Maudsley. You're on. Are you on
Monday?
Catholic Unscripted, or are they
Catholic
on
Unscripted Monday? Man, we got a lot coming up. Oh my goodness, we got a lot coming up. We going to bed, guys. I gotta get some sleep because I got a lot of streaming coming up. All right, we will see you guys on Tuesday. Take us
So
out.
are you on with them on Monday?
I'm on with them Monday.
Okay, so I don't have to make a stream or
No.
anything like that. Okay,
No.
that's all I needed to know.
All right.
Okay, you know what? Screw the exit. We're just